Right, what up, Algebra 1 students? Here is our review video. For those of you who have chosen to watch this one, remember you have a choice here. You can be watching that review video, the one that we're doing right now, or you can watch the bonus topic. And, if you're bored enough with math and you want to watch both of them, knock yourself out. Have some fun here. So we're going through this review. Remember, you are allowed to use a calculator at any point in time in these questions. And if you've forgotten how to do them, don't worry. That's why we're reviewing. It's always a good thing to go over. So here we go. Review problem number 1. I got to click the little exposure button here, make it a little bit brighter. Cool. So it says evaluate each expression. So when you have an evaluation problem, it really just means give me a number, simplify it to the best of your ability, and you got to remember to follow that Pemdas rule. Your parentheses first. So I see this 1 plus 5 there. That's going to be a 6 times 2 down here, 6 minus, and then inside this parentheses, we have a 2 times 2 and a minus 1. So we actually have to follow the PEMDAS inside of the parentheses. So 4 first, and then minus 1. Continuing on. Don't forget there's an invisible parentheses around the entire top and around the entire bottom of every question. So that means we also got to do that top parentheses up there. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 minus 4 minus 1 is 3. Again, parentheses first. 3 there. That equals 4. Remember, in my class, you need 1 step of work. So if you did your first step of work, you got that. You can plug that directly into your Google calculator. Totally cool with me. Let's keep on working after this. Number 2, simplify. Both of these questions here require us to distribute and then add like terms. Let's practice doing it. This is going to be negative 8 times 9. That is negative 72. Okay. Negative 8 times negative 9. Don't forget the negative does distribute, so that's going to be plus 72. Negative 8 times negative 9. Plus 4 gets multiplied by that 1. Negative 8 times that 4 is minus 32k. Now we've got to add our like terms. We are taking this negative 72 and adding it to negative 32. Use that calculator to do the addition for you, and you'll end up getting negative 104k. That's 104. I don't know why I had such a big space in between my letters. I apologize. Our numbers. And then 72 and 4 together is 76. If you started watching this problem from the get-go, remember, you are supposed to be trying these problems on your own first and maybe watching the video afterwards. You don't need to be watching this and just copying every single thing I write down. You're supposed to be doing some of that thinking on your own. It is better for you that way. Distributive property also works the other direction, though, and that's what this question's all about. 2x, nothing about it. Plus 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. Negative 5 times negative 8 is positive 40x. 40 and 2 is 42 with the x, and then minus 8. Easy peasy. Let's continue on. Solve each equation. This one, you got to get the variable by itself. I don't know why the computer chose n for the first 3, but it did choose n for those first 3, so I guess that's what we're doing. Let's try it out. So for every single one of these, I'm actually going to pull my camera down here. Nice. Remember, to solve an equation, you want to use the reverse PEMDAS, the inverse operation. So to undo that dividing by 15, we are going to multiply both sides by 15. I don't really have room, so I'm actually going to copy the question first. So yeah, we multiply both sides by 15 so we can cancel out right there. And we get n equals negative 30. Very nice. Likewise, if I have n times 9 equals 171, how do I solve for that? Use that inverse operation. Divide both sides by 9. Do that cancellation. N is equal to, please use a calculator to divide these. You do not need to do them in your head. Beautiful. Continuing on, same exact process. How do we get n by itself here? Add 4 to both sides. Not much to it. We're going to get negative 20 is equivalent to n. Beautiful. Continuing on number 7, this one some students get afraid because it has the addition with the division and a fraction, and heaven forbid a 0 on the other side. Don't worry, reverse PEMDAS. So we have parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. We have to do that in reverse to solve equations. So we're going to start with the addition and subtraction. So we are adding 3 to both sides to begin here. Trying to get that x alone. And now, again, trying to get x alone. Multiply both sides by 3. Cancel those guys out. X is positive. Beautiful enough. Keep on moving. We're doing problem number 8 now. So problem number 8 at the bottom. This one requires us to use the idea of movement, the horizontal solving. I really do like problems like this because I think it teaches us some new stuff. Before we do that, though, we have to add like terms. 4x has no buddies quite yet, but 2, 6, and 10, we add all 3 of those together and we end up getting an 18. I don't know why my printer printed the 6 so bold. But did that 9 and 6 pretty bolded too. I don't know. I don't know if you can see it as much on the screen as I can see it on my paper, but oh well. Anyways, -4 and 5 is 1x. You don't actually have to write the 1, but I am going to. And now we need to move all of the letters to one side of the equation, all the numbers to the other. So we could either move this 18 over and then the 1x over, but that's 2 steps instead of just doing 1, taking this 4x and moving it over here. When you move something to the other side, it becomes negative. That's a 1x minus a 4x. So 18 is -3x there. Divide both sides by -3 and you're done. You get -6 equals x. Nice. Number 49 combines all the ideas we've been doing. Got to distribute. Got to add like terms. Got to solve. 49 equals, doing my distributive property, 8 times n is 8n. 8 times 6 is 48. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times -2n is -14n. Add those like terms. 8n minus 14n is -6n. 48 and 7 is 55. Get that n by itself. Subtract 55 on both sides of the equation. -6 equals -6n. Divide both sides by -6. We're finally done. 1 equals n. I always like it when an answer equals just 1 by itself. I think it comes out nice and pretty. So I did those fast. Remember, you don't need to do them that fast. You're allowed to rewatch what I did. You can rewind super fast to do it. You can ask me to slow down or retry later. Do them in after-school tutoring. I will be available for tutoring after school. I always am. If you end up needing more help on these, don't forget that is an option. But it's only been 8 minutes. We've already done 9 questions. Let's keep on going. Number 10. Number 10, yet again, we have more distributive property, more moving things around, trying to solve it out. Let's do it. Nothing happens different on the left here, but on the right, we have a negative sign we got to distribute. So -2p minus 7 minus 4. Again, that negative sign is what you're distributing out. Take a quick sip of water. Here we go. Keep it on moving. Add those like terms. We got -11 over here, 4 plus p over there. And now we need to go ahead and move all of the p's to one side, all of the numbers to the other. So this -2p, this guy I'm going to move over here, and then that 4 right there I'm going to move over yonder. So switching those sides around, we end up with a +2p. So p plus 2p equals -11 minus 4. So again, what did I do? I took that p right there, left it alone. -2 moves it to the left. That 4 moves to the right. That -11 stayed by itself. That movement idea is the easiest way to solve these questions. So we got 3p equals -15. I added like terms, p plus 2p. -11 minus 4, -15. Divide both sides by 3. You get -5 here. Now, this is the last one of this type. It is the longest one. I also want to show people the ability to show less work. You're always allowed to show less work if possible. If you need me to show more work on this problem later, again, you're always allowed to ask, but I like doing questions where I show the least amount of work for students to start practicing showing that least amount of work in terms of their solving. The less work that you show, the less painful math is going to be. -3 times 6 is -18b. -3 times -4 is +12. Add the 2b again, equals -6 distributed is -18b, -6, and the -5 is +30. Add those like terms, you're going to get -16b plus 12 equals -18b plus 30. And this is the part where I'm saying I'm going to show that less work, because so far I've actually showed about the same amount of work. I just didn't draw the arrows. I'm going to do that -18b, and I'm moving it over here, and it's going to become a +18. Something, okay, -16, +18. Use a calculator if needed, but that's going to be 2b, or not to be. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, got that 30, subtracting that 12. That's going to be 18. So I don't know if you can really follow along with that, but it is the best way to do that. Here's the actual extra step in between if we wanted to see it. So it's the same thing as this guy over here, where I simply moved him around, took that -18, made it positive over there, took that 12, made it negative over there. And then again, divide both sides by 2, and you get b equals 9. So this stuff in pink here, this is what the work is that I would not show. Continuing on here. We have finished, we're on number 12, and we're 12 minutes in. We're doing pretty good for 1 minute per problem. All right, so that -5, writing inequality for each graph, it's at -5 and it's pointing left. So take a value x. The arrow is pointing left, so the alligator kind of pointing off to the left there. It's less than, so it's eating the bigger number, -5. You don't include the underline sign because it's not filled in. That's all we were hoping for. Number 13, solve each inequality and graph its solution. So just like those previous questions, we had to do this. We had to solve just like before, but now we actually have to draw the graph ourselves after solving. So here, easy enough, just add 11 to both sides. And then draw the graph. As a reminder for my graphs, I want at least the key number, number 9 there, a number on both sides, so how about 10 and 8? A filled-in circle above the 9, it's filled in because it had the greater than or equal to. So just as a reminder one more time, that less than had the open circle, the less than or equal to has the filled-in circle, and the arrow here is going to be pointing off to the left. All right, cool stuff. Continuing on, number 14, same exact concepts as those previous problems. Here we go. -8 times 5 is -40m. -8 times -2 is +16. -2 times 1 is -2. -2 times 6, -12m. Less than -38. -40 minus 12 is -52m. 16 and 2 is 14. Subtract 14 on both sides here. We got -52m is less than -52. Divide both sides by -52. And this is the step where most students have done all this work. They've done so good, and they have everything great, and they have all the numbers, and they forget to flip the direction of the sign because you divided by a negative number. If you divide by a negative number, we're going to flip the direction of that sign. You get m greater than 1. My headphones are bugging me. I got to move my headphones. Right. So if you've been paying attention this entire time, you've been paying attention at least 15 minutes, hopefully been doing some of this work on your own. So that means that you're probably at 25 minutes of work. That's about the right amount of time to stand up, take a break, take 5 minutes off, do something else. I'll let you pause the video if you need to. do it to finish this problem, though. Make this graph up. Put the 1 down. Number on either side. 2, 0. Open circle. It is greater than, this time pointing off to the right. Again, that arrow follows as long as the variable's on the left. To keep it strong, keep it moving. Number 15. So we got this 28 minus 4p greater than negative 8p plus 56. Again, I distributed that out. Negative 8 times p, negative 8 times negative 7. Let's forget the 56. Negative 4p is copied. That negative 8 becomes a positive 8 on the left. That 56 is copied. That positive 28 becomes a negative 28 on the right. Negative 4p plus 8p is 4p. Greater than 56 minus 28 is 28. Divide both sides by 4. You do not flip the sign because you divided by a positive number. Divide by a negative, flip the sign. Multiply by a negative, flip the sign. Divide by it. No way, Jose. Here we go. P is greater than 7. 7 goes down. 8 and 6. Open circle pointing off to the right. All right, we're done with those 15 problems. Let's keep it up. Last page of stuff. Powering through. Solve each compound inequality and graph its solution. So for a compound inequality, it means you got to graph 2 arrows at the same time. You got 2 situations, and they're either going to come together or go apart. The ors are the ones that go apart, and the ands are the ones that come together. So you solve them separately. So here we're going to take that 2x, move it to the left, greater than or equal to, take that negative 2, move it to the right, so 3 plus 2. So took that 2x, moved it here, that negative 2, moved it right. 7x minus 2x is 5x. 3 and 2 is 5. Divide both sides by 5, and you're going to get 1. So again, I divided both sides by 5. Sorry for not showing the work, but I don't think I can squeeze it in there. My bad. I don't know why I started drawing the graph. I haven't solved this one yet. You got to solve both. So over here, again, doing the same exact thing, moving the x's over. So 3x minus 6x greater than or equal to negative 5, and then add the 8. That's going to be negative 3x greater than or equal to 3. Divide both sides by negative 3. Don't forget you're flipping the direction of the sign whenever you divide by a negative. So we have x's greater than 1 or less than negative 1. They're both filled in circles. And ors usually point apart. Double checking, greater than 1 would point this way, less than 1 would point that way. Beautiful. All done. Number 17. Number 17 requires you to remember a little bit of a trick, that these are actually and problems in disguise, that you have these two on the left, which is going to be 9b minus 4 less than 10b plus 4, and then the word and we got 10b plus 4 less than or equal to b minus 5. And continue solving just like normal. Take that 9 minus 10b less than 4 plus 4. So we got negative 1b less than 8. Divide both sides by that negative 1. You'll get b is greater than negative 8. Don't forget to flip that sign. 10b plus 4 less than b minus 5. That is a b, not a 6 from the problem. So 10b minus b less than or equal to negative 5 minus 4. 9b less than or equal to negative 9. And then we have b is less than or equal to negative 1. So b is greater than negative 8 or less than or equal to negative 1. Putting these two guys on a number line. We want that negative 8 there. We want that negative 1 there. I actually realized I forgot to put the 0 in between these two, or some other number. What's in between negative 8, negative 1, maybe negative 5. Fill in circle on the 1 because of the equal to. Open circle on the negative 8. My hair is bugging me again. I don't know what the deal is. Getting too late at night. That's what I'm going to say. My hair has just decided it's done this late at night. So we're less than or equal to -1 coming together, greater than -8. There we go. The word and almost always means coming together like that. Now for these last couple, I will take some parts a little bit slower because this is no longer full review. This is really what we learned just this last week. So totally understood if you're not quite remembering it, because this is really the most recent lesson. Solve each equation. So in this one, we will have splitting it into two different problems here. We have one where we make it a positive and one where we make it a negative. And don't overthink it, you're done. That's how we always solve these absolute values. It means that the distance from k to 0 is 5. So it's either the +5 or the -5. Same concept over here, except when you split it into two questions, you actually have to do the work to solve by dividing both sides by 8. Not too much more work, but it is technically a little bit more work. One positive, one negative. It happens to both be the same number. Isn't always the same number. It will be the same number on number 20 as well, but not 21 and 22. Shortcut number 20. So this one, you still have to split it into two, but you can't split it into two yet. You have to get the absolute value alone first. So we're going to add 4 to both sides before we split it into two. Now we split it into two questions. Divide both sides by 4. Get k equal to 9. And divide both sides by 4 here. We got k equal to -9. Whew, we are almost done. 2 more questions, guys. Powering on through. Here we go. Solve these like normal. Reverse PEMDAS. Remember that this is multiplication here. You have to deal with that later. We need to take care of this 10 first. Do not add 10 plus 7. That's going to get you the wrong answer. We subtract 10 first. Be careful on these problems, please. 7 times absolute value. 5r equals 105. Now, how do we undo that multiplication? Now we can do this division. Divide both sides by 7. Use a calculator if you would like it. That's going to be 15 though. And then now we split it into two separate questions. And we got 5r equals, it's 15, and 5r equals -15. I guess it is a positive and negative, the same number on this question. Number 22, it won't be. R equals 3. Divide both sides by 5, and you get r equals -3. We are on the last problem now, number 22. There we go. Start off almost exactly that same as that last question. Subtract 6 first. Be very careful. 5, absolute value, 2x plus 7, and absolute value. 11 minus 6 is 5. Undo this by dividing both sides by 5. Then we're going to get 2x plus 7 is equal to 1. Split it into two separate questions. I hope I don't run out of room on my paper here. I'm going to write a little bit smaller. Here, I'll zoom in, even though it's going to be a little bit smaller. There we go. So we got 2x plus 7 equals 1, and then 2x plus 7 equals -1. Subtract 7 on both sides, and we're going to get 2x equals -6, and therefore divide both sides by 2. X equals -3. Whew. Got to it. Subtract 7 on both sides. 2x equals -8. Divide both sides by 2. And we're going to end up with x equal -4. All right, so hopefully we did okay on this. Again, I know I did these fast, and if there's any of them that you want me to redo slower with you after school or do a bigger explanation of some kind because you forgot how to do them, please come by to my tutoring. I will definitely help you out. And if not, Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Monday morning. Have a good one.